Welcome to the video overview of the September 2016 Fegli Life Insurance Open Season. I'm Dave Johnston with OPM. The Federal Employees Group Life Insurance Program, Fegli, is having an open season from September 1st, 2016 through September 30th, 2016. This is the first Fegli open season since 2004. During the month of September 2016, if you are a federal employee eligible for Fegli, you can elect any coverage that Fegli offers, including Option C coverage on the lives of your qualifying family members. Employees who are in their first 12 months of workers' compensation are also eligible, but they must meet pay and duty status requirements before their coverage can come into effect. More on pay and duty status requirements in a moment. You do not need to be currently enrolled in Fegli to elect coverage during the open season. Open season elections have no medical exam required and no health questions to answer. If you're not sure whether you're eligible for Fegli, check with your Human Resources office. The Fegli open season is for Fegli eligible employees and qualifying compensationers only. Annuitants are not eligible to make Fegli open season elections. By law, annuitants are never allowed to elect or increase their Fegli life insurance coverage, even during an open season. Like employees, annuitants can cancel or reduce Fegli coverage at any time. Elections made during the Fegli open season have a 1-year delayed effective date. Coverage you elect during the September 2016 Fegli open season will be effective on the first day of the first full pay period on or after October 1st, 2017, as long as you meet pay and duty status requirements. More on pay and duty status requirements in a moment. For most biweekly employees, this means your coverage will be effective on October 1st, 2017. For postal employees, this means your coverage will be effective on October 14th, 2017. Your new premiums will be effective when your new coverage is effective. You will not pay your new premiums during the 1-year waiting period. For most biweekly employees, this means you will begin paying your new premiums starting the pay period that begins October 1st, 2017. Your Fegli open season election will not be effective until you meet pay and duty status requirements. For a full-time employee on a bi-weekly pay schedule, you must be in pay and duty status for at least 32 hours in the pay period immediately before the pay period when your coverage becomes effective. For a full-time employee on a monthly pay schedule, you must be in pay and duty status for at least 64 hours in the pay period immediately before the pay period when your coverage becomes effective. For a part-time employee, you must be in pay and duty status for 1/2 of the regularly scheduled tour of duty on your current SF50 notification of personnel action. If you are a Fegli eligible intermittent employee or a Fegli eligible employee without a regularly scheduled tour of duty, you must be in pay and duty status for 1/2 of the customarily worked hours in a pay period. Sick leave, annual leave, donated leave, or any other kind of leave, whether paid or unpaid, does not qualify as pay and duty status. Your Fegli open season coverage does not begin until after you meet these pay and duty status requirements, even if that comes after October 2017. Some employees will never meet pay and duty status requirements, so their open season coverage will never begin. For more information about Fegli pay and duty status requirements, contact your Human Resources office. All regular rules still apply for continuing Fegli into retirement. This includes the requirement that for any types or multiples of coverage you wish to bring into retirement, you must have that coverage throughout your last 5 years of federal service, or your entire period or periods of service if you retire with less than 5 years. Because coverage elected during the Fegli open season will be effective no sooner than October 2017, this means that if you want to bring your open season coverage into retirement, you must retire in October 2022 or later, 5 years after the coverage becomes effective. If you plan to retire before October 2022, consider this when deciding whether to elect coverage during the Fegli open season. By law, there are no waivers for the 5-year rule under the Fegli program. There is no special election form to use during the Fegli open season. You make your open season election using the existing Fegli election form, Standard Form 2817, or its electronic equivalent if your agency offers one. If you submit your election by hand or electronically, be sure to indicate to your agency that this is an open season election. If your agency uses a shared service center, or if you submit your election by mail, your agency may have a cover letter for you to attach to show that yours is an open season election. Your agency will give you a copy of your election as proof that they received it. Your agency will give you another copy of your election when your coverage becomes effective in October 2017. Be sure to elect all Fegli coverage that you want on your open season election, not just the coverage you want to add or increase. Any coverage you do not elect is waived or canceled. Here's an example. Jen currently has basic and 5 multiples of option B, and she wants to add option C coverage on the lives of her spouse and eligible children. Jen submits an open season election for basic and 5 multiples of option C, but not any option B. Jen has accidentally canceled her option B coverage effective October 2017 if she meets pay and duty status requirements. Don't make this mistake. Be careful to elect every type and multiple of coverage that you want on your open season election. The last valid election on file with your Human Resources Office is the operative election. This means if you submit a valid election to your Human Resources Office during the 1-year waiting period, then that subsequent election will override the election you submitted during the open season. Going back to our example, Jen still has basic and 5 multiples of option B. In September 2016, she submits an open season election for basic, 5 multiples of option B, and 5 multiples of option C. But a few months later, in July 2017, she decides to cancel her option B and submits an election for basic coverage only. Remember that you can cancel or reduce your Fegli coverage at any time. You do not need to wait for an open season. Jen's July election overrides her earlier open season election. Jen's open season election will not come into effect in October 2017 or any other time. Jen's last valid election on file with her Human Resources Office is the operative election. There are several ways to find out what type or types of Fegli coverage you currently have. You may find this information in your agency's online Human Resources portal, if your agency offers one. You can also find your current coverage in Box 27 on your most recent SF50 Notification of Personnel Action. Or you can ask your Human Resources Office for a copy of your most recent election. If you like your current Fegli coverage, you do not need to take any action during the open season. If you do nothing during the Fegli open season, you will keep your existing election. You are not required to re-elect your coverage. Here's a quick refresher course on the types of Fegli coverage you can elect during the open season. There are 2 categories of Fegli coverage, basic and optional. Basic covers the life of the employee or annuitant. For an employee, basic coverage is based on your annual rate of pay, rounded up to the nearest whole $1,000 plus $2,000. So if you have an annual rate of pay of $57,100, enrolling in basic would cover your life for $60,000. Eligible new employees are automatically enrolled in basic unless they waive it. To see current Fegli premiums, visit opm.gov/life and click Employee on the right side of the screen. The other kind of Fegli coverage is optional coverage. You must have basic to be eligible for any type of optional coverage. There are 3 types of optional coverage. The first type is option A, also known as the standard option. Option A covers the life of the employee or annuitant. Option A provides $10,000 of coverage. The second type of optional coverage is option B, also known as the additional option. Option B covers the life of the employee or annuitant. Take your annual rate of pay and round it up to the nearest whole $1,000. This is the amount of coverage you would have with one multiple of option B. Employees can elect up to 5 multiples of this amount under option B. The third type of optional coverage is option C, also known as the family option. Option C does not cover the life of the employee or annuitant. It covers the lives of your spouse and unmarried dependent children under age 22. You can continue covering your children at age 22 and older if they are certified by your agency as incapable of self-support due to a mental or physical disability that existed before age 22. One multiple of option C covers the lives of your spouse for $5,000 and the lives of each eligible child for $2,500. Employees can elect up to 5 multiples of option C coverage. To see current option C premiums, visit opm.gov/life and click Employee on the right side of the screen. Your option C premiums are the same regardless of how many eligible family members you have. Eligible family members are covered automatically. There is no list of eligible family members you need to maintain. While you're thinking about Fegli, this is a great time to consider updating your designation of beneficiary. For the Fegli coverage on your life, you can name any beneficiary or beneficiaries you want, including a trust. You can also change beneficiaries at any time. You do not need to wait for an open season. To change beneficiaries as an employee, submit standard form SF2823 to your Human Resources office. This form is available at opm.gov/forms, or you can do a web search for SF2823. Remember to keep your designation current. If your family experiences any major life event, like marriage, divorce, birth, or death, consider whether you need to update your Fegli designation. If one of your beneficiaries has a change of address, submitting an updated designation that shows the new address will help Fegli contact them after your death. For information about your current designation, contact your Human Resources office. For more information about the Fegli program and open season, visit opm.gov/life. There you can find general information about Fegli coverage and costs, answers to frequently asked questions, more in-depth video overviews of Fegli for active employees and retiring employees, and printable versions of all the Fegli forms you will need. If you have additional questions about the Fegli open season, contact your Human Resources office.